Burn, baby, burn. A green inferno. Burn, baby, burn. Okay, so this is Unscripted and Anchor Reviews. This is Tyler from Anchor Reviews, and I've got a guest star on here.
Steven from Steven Lawson Studios.
Yep, and today we have the Green Inferno. Now, for those of you who don't know, Green Inferno is a new horror film by Eli Roth. Now, Eli Roth directed other horror films like Hostel and Cabin Fever. This is a new one.
Yeah, this is his newest project. It's a project he'd been really wanting to work on because one of his favorite childhood films was evidently Cannibal Holocaust.
Yeah, that's messed up if that's your favorite one from childhood.
But he wanted to basically make a modern day context of it or adaptation, and it is a very interesting idea. And I was very curious to see it personally because the film Cannibal Holocaust is to this day known as one of the top 10 most controversial films of all time for some of the graphic violence, rape, certain not okay for the kiddies to see subjects.
I don't think it's really okay for anyone to see. So, basically, the plot to this movie is about a bunch of, high school not high school, but college kids pretty much go into this group to go to the Amazon and stop, the trees being cut down that.
Yeah, the was a it basically starts with this girl whose dad is a lawyer and connected to the UN, and she decides basically because this hot douchebag who is what did you say, Tyler? He looks like some
Yeah, he's pretty much like Discount Jafar.
yeah, like Jafar at age 24 or something.
Yeah, that was pretty stupid. It's like, yeah, I mean, the part where they're in the Amazon and they're on the boats, he actually was in the front of the boat posing like he was George Washington or something.
Right, that Captain Morgan stance, which was completely impractical, the water would have been rocking him around, so he would have fallen off at any point. Plus, the mosquitoes were probably eating him alive, but, this guy was such a douche from what you saw that his death would be welcome at any point,
No spoilers, but anyway, their plane crashes and these tribe of people who happen to be cannibals decide to have them for, as you would say, Steven.
Dinner.
Yeah, exactly. But basically, yeah, this movie is very graphic. I mean, if you go into this, just know who's directing Eli Roth. He directed Hostel and, Cabin Fever. And yeah, it's pretty violent. I mean, the first guy gets killed is probably the most graphic one because his eyeballs get ripped out, then his tongue, and then his limbs, and finally his head.
Yeah, it had to be in an order that he suffers the most, and it was just really hard to watch. I have a pretty strong stomach for gross stuff. I've sat through as personal challenges things like a Serbian film and things that are really graphic, but this really actually kind of made me gag just from seeing the amount of suffering and just relentless gore in certain parts, which I mean it was effective at what it was doing, but it was definitely something that is not for the weak of mind or stomach.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised you actually brought a tub of popcorn and a large drink into the theater going to see this.
Yeah, I had to, be a man about it, bring in the challenge, and it would have been worse, to be fair, if I brought in beef jerky or a Salisbury steak on a plate.
Yeah, it's like if it was undercooked and that, it still got blood on it, then yeah.
That extra pink, yep.
Yeah, so pretty much the whole movie, The Green Inferno, I mean, walking out of this movie, we're kind of eh.
Yeah, I think I liked it a little better than Tyler did, and I definitely had in like I would say slightly higher expectations for it, just because I'm a person who likes, rambunctious, uh, pushing the envelope types of media. But this definitely, in parts, did that. I'm not sure that throughout you could say that it was constantly, um, this really uh, unbearable to watch film, because there were definitely parts that were much worse than others. And the story kind of was dumb towards the ending, like just not very good at all. And you could tell they were trying to do this whole modern Hollywood thing of pushing the possibility of a sequel.
Yeah, but also another thing, I'm glad you mentioned the story because there's some things like the dialogue in the beginning is kind of Like, for example, I'm not even kidding. There's this one, one of the main characters is gonna go away, and she has like a roommate that's, saying goodbye to her, and then she says like, "Hey, wait." And she's like, "Yes," and she's like, "Never mind." I'm like, did M. Night Shyamalan write this part or what?
Seriously. Like, what were you going to ask? What was the point of putting that line in? Hey, could I borrow your vibrator while you're gone? Like,
You mentioned the natives got their hands on a vibrator.
oh boy, they would go to town. They would definitely go to town. Like, especially that shaman woman, with those freaking things on her fingers. Whew! That would have been some messy business.
Looking like Nancy Pelosi in the morning.
Yeah, yeah. She was definitely an interesting woman. She's like the equivalent to the cannibal grandma that is making you the goodies. But yeah. Anyways, back to reality.
Yeah, it's like. But also another thing I wanted to mention about this movie was that it was. I mean, I didn't have much expectations going into it, but I was kind of left mildly disappointed still, even though my hopes weren't that high for this one. But also, I mean, it's around Halloween time. Of course, you want to be scared and that, and this is very gross out stuff. Now, from what I can also remember was that there's apparently something I had no idea until Steven brought it up, was that apparently the boy from Spy Kids is in this movie.
He is, yeah. I honestly at first didn't even realize it, but in the trailers and some of especially partially through the film, I began to realize that is totally the little brother from Spy Kids, grown up with his same curly hair. He just looks a bit more stonerish and um, is being seen in a different light now. You want to refer to the specific light, like in the bushes?
Sadly, no, but apparently there's a part where they go to the bathroom and we see like the stump of his dick, pretty much.
Yep, Limpy Dick over here just, loosen the lizard for a bit out in the rainforest when a tarantula, tries to come and help him out with the duties, shake it for him.
Yeah, it's like I think after seeing this, you know how people are like protesting like SeaWorld after seeing that like Blackwater documentary. I'm surprised. I won't be surprised. Well, actually, I think it'd be kind of retarded if people are like after seeing this movie, they're like, we gotta protest the Rainforest Cafe.
Because that makes sense. But like, yeah, the theme about it that Eli Roth brought to it, that I thought was very interesting, is so often with a film like this, you would try to depict with schlop like Avatar, that these people are the victims, and that definitely came into view in the film as a possibility. But Eli Roth definitely went in a different direction with it, and it was really interesting to see that. It was kind of a interesting political statement of, you know what, look, kids, you may get butt hurt every once in a while for people saying things that aren't politically correct, but there's a thing called truth sometimes that is more important, and you might want to actually consider living truth instead of lies.